we actually had a conversation backstage in a show in Franklin when we were discussing this topic, which is the worst gigs we've ever played. And specifically, we narrowed the exhaustive list down to 5.
They all look like decent gigs on the outside.
To be fair, I don't think there really is such a thing as a worst gig, because either we really learned something important from it, or we made some type of connection from it. We became better musicians. Maybe we changed set list or whatever. Also, important note is these aren't worst gigs because we bombed the show. We actually put on really good performances on all of these, but it was either like bad people, bad money, bad sound, bad venue, one of those.
Demons and such.
So we put at number 5 a green market that we played down in South Florida. It was
as another caveat, we're going to try our best to not mention the names, but when there's deep underlying trauma with some of these, they might just slip out. It'll be part of our healing process.
But it was actually a really cool market, and we played for thousands of people. It was just because of these freak vendors.
We were told you have 15 minutes to park by the stage
and get all your stuff out of your van.
To unload all your crap. Yeah. We were hired with very little money because it was a green market. You make all your money with tips.
And exposure.
We brought our own PA and our 70,000 instruments. And so we were unloading, and we had only been there for max 5 minutes, and we were almost done. And these vendors, I'll not name, came up, got in our face, and were yelling the most obscene remarks to us. Not just cussing, but insults. And they were also these 2 older, short guys in our face, all 3 of us. And so you're you wanting to laugh, but you're also
making me really mad just remembering this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also stressed out because you're surrounded by all these vendors, and there's all these people around. It's an extremely popular
So then
market.
we had to set up all our stuff, shaking after all that ridiculous and holding ourselves back.
I will say, we never said anything. We just kind of ignored them. We set up all our stuff, and we moved when we were supposed to move. But they never stopped either. They kept going and going.
They would follow us around. Yeah, and then we had to play 3 hours after that in the Florida sun. That was that was brutal.
And actually, it ended up being a great show, but it's hard to get in a good headspace. But we actually met
some of our best lifelong friends and fans through that gig. So there you go. It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
But I did.
That was number 5 on the list.
It gets worse.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it does get worse.
Oh, yes. Our tour.
It was during our first Midwest tour.
That's part of what makes this even more tragic, was that this was during our birthday. Yeah, we were doing a huge tour of the Midwest during our birthday.
On my birthday, I was sick in Pensacola, half aware that I was alive.
Yeah, this was a few days after. Yeah. And Mikey and I were continuing the tour without Tommy, who was dying of COVID in a hotel. And we are driving in a huge hot van because there's no AC. And it's 100 degrees outside.
It was August.
We roll into... Oh, remember, we forgot about this part too. We got to Duluth and we start setting our stuff up. Realized we forgot the backpack that had our XLR cables.
Oh, yep.
And we had a few. We didn't have enough. And you had to run out to a Guitar Center and get cables while I'm setting up stuff. And there was people sitting 3 feet in front of us. I'm okay, well... And it was full. It was a full restaurant. It was all outdoors. It was very hot, even though this was Duluth. We're okay, well, we'll have a good audience at least. These people are kind of forced to listen to us, right? It was just Joshua and I. But we played for probably... It was a 2-hour set. A 2-hour set.
Oh, it's a long time to play.
And even though these people were 3 feet away from us, they wouldn't even look at us. I was embarrassed for them because I was oh man, we must sound so bad because there's only 2 of us. It must be so embarrassing that these people just don't want to even make eye contact with us.
Oh, every song must have felt so long.
They I remember distinctly. It was a lot of people, but they would intentionally sit with their back to us.
Yeah. Oh, those awkward triplet twin boys. Oh, gross.
But the food was amazing. See, there's always a plus.
Yeah, they had craft
soda. Yeah, and these little personal pizzas. Yeah. But it was.
I was kind of glad they weren't listening because I felt like we sounded terrible because there was only 2 of us. But actually, we put on a pretty good show. It was just, it was really weird how they were really not listening to us.
Okay, so that was
not
definitely
one person.
Yeah. But what didn't make it the top worst was there was pay involved. There was free food involved.
And it was good food.
And there was good craft sodas.
Which is a good lead-in into number 3 because of this distinctly unique venue. We got $20 for gas. Yeah, it's our entire pay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I
You gotta
on the
set
booking
this one
side,
up.
I worked really hard for this one. It was a reputable venue. I will not name.
A really
in
good live
Gainesville.
theater. Yeah.
I really want to say the name.
It was in Gainesville, and we had a long conversation. Me and their talent buyer is like, he was like, well, what's a realistic draw for you guys? I gave him a realistic draw, and it's like, okay, if you do that, we'll bring the rest. And it's like, okay, that sounds great. We can actually make this work.
They brought 3 people.
The venue did. Yes.
Yeah, the venue brought 3 people.
And at the end of the night, I had to square up with the guy, and I was like, well, yeah, it was a kind of disappointing night. You guys didn't bring a whole lot of people. So we didn't get enough to cover overhead. But he had me a $20 bill. Here's some money for gas, you guys. Yeah, come back another time and play. He was like,
And then we go out.
that sounds like a great plan.
And then we spend $120 filling up our van with gas. So
yeah.
But I also think this goes back to just those are the risks you have to do. That was a great booking because you never know if there wouldn't have been COVID.
and it's unfortunately still a really popular venue.
But you know what? Conversations like that with other venues, and we've ended up having great shows.
So what makes that one actually better than this next one we're going to talk about is that we actually made $20 instead of paying money.
In
Downtown
Music City.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Some great session players that we revere play here regularly, and we're like, hey, this is cool to get a slot at this venue.
Oh, okay, let's back up.
the time was good,
Before
yeah.
you get to the 2 people in the venue, let's set it up a little bit. So we had just moved to Nashville. This was our second show in the city, and it was 1 week before Christmas. And so we had all kind of worked things around. We had prepared a really cool, upbeat Christmas concert for this. And, we were doing some marketing, but I was like, man, it's kind of odd. Like, they're not sharing any of our posts. They're not doing anything. It's like, wow, I guess they're really just kind of a silent venue. We got there and we started setting up. And it's like, wow, is this even the right place? Yeah, we played a 2-hour set. And I remember it was so, we had so much energy the whole time. But we literally played for an empty room. I think there was one person besides the operators of this venue/bar, an audience member at the beginning, and at the end we had 10 people
Because they were coming.
but they were basically coming for the person after.
So what was funny is the more people that showed up, the more loud the venue got and the less they even listened to us.
Because they did not come for us. Yeah. They came for the bar and for their buddies who was playing later. So it does suck your soul up a little bit. Yeah. And then we had to square up and pay him $70 because you didn't.
Yeah, so if you don't make enough, you don't bring enough people, you don't make enough money, then you have to pay out of your pocket, like the sound guy. So yeah, I'm too old to be doing this. That was really painful. That
We suck.
That feels like it should be number 1, but it actually isn't.
It could be number 1 if you're purely talking emotional duress, because emotionally that was a kick in the pants.
We needed several really, really good Nashville gigs after that to make us feel like we're good artists, and that thankfully happened. Otherwise, I don't think we could talk about this.
I will say, if you don't have a gig that's that horrible, and then you have to keep going as an artist, that's the kind of thing that makes you question.
Commitment level.
Hey, if we weren't all in, we would have given up after shows like that.
Yeah.
The number 1.
Dun, 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 dun.
We finally arrived at the glorious moment. And this was actually back in Florida. We have a history of driving into gigs that look extremely dark and deserted, but this took it to the next level because we're driving through Florida swamp in Tampa somewhere, and we pull into this driveway.
And it's getting dark now too.
There are pigs walking along in front of our car. There are no other vehicles except for an old tractor somewhere.
And I'd already confirmed with the guy who was going to open up the venue for us, and he's.
But what's also so creepy about it is there's absolutely no lighting, there's no parking or anything. There's just a farmhouse.
And then an old chalk sign with our name
a chalk
on it.
sign. The Lubben Brothers. I'm like, oh,
So this is how it ends. This is where we die.
You like hear knives getting sharpened, but there was not a single person anywhere, and it was like really dark. It was so far away from the city that it was basically starting to become pitch black. And we have our big van there and all our stuff to unload, and there's no venue or anything. There's just like this old rickety farmhouse.
Well, so I have the guy's contact, so I call him and say, "Hey, we're here. Where are you?" He's like, "Oh, you guys are here real early." He sounded a little too laid back, maybe for his own good. And he said, "Oh, I'll be there in a few minutes. You just let yourselves in. There's a key in the boot."
It wasn't only in a boot. I remember Tommy had to wait for a pig to stop sniffing the boot. For him to reach in
I reach into the boot. And it's this old, like, 2-story farmhouse. It's all dark inside, and we have to get the key out of the boot, let ourselves into this.
But it's just like an actual family's house.
We're moving.
Yeah, it's pitch black in there, and we're in someone's house. We're moving a couch. We're moving things around.
So
we're
weird.
starting to set up our sound, and there's still nobody there.
It was like a long time.
Just an hour before we're gonna play.
Yeah,
it was just an hour before.
It was like, we're gonna play for ourselves.
And we almost and the whole time you're either waiting for like police to show up because you're breaking into someone's house, or somebody worse to show up with a shotgun. And I was like, at least it's only the three of us, but it's kind of a sucky way to go. Though we had a better attendance than the prior mentioned in Nashville. So it's true. There were 8 people for this one. I just remember it was one of those, there's just a really awkwardness about playing gigs with a very small amount of people where they're sitting very close to you. I'm being I'm being really emotional with my delivery and everything, and the whole time there's this old guy that's like 3 feet away from me, just kind of staring at me like he thinks I'm weird. That's what was weird about this one, is it wasn't branded as a house show. This was a community concert series.
Well, and that house was kind of part of the
in
farm.
Murderville. In Murderville, Florida.
But we survived, and so...
Well, we hope you all will tune on to our best gigs, so you think that you realize we are actually professionals, and we have families, but we support them with music. We do. We promise. They're all alive. And well. And well, yes, of course. If you have an inkling, a little notion on what these venues are, just, shoot us a little note. We gave enough hints in there. There's got to be some people that played these same venues. You got to know what we're talking about. And if you had a good experience there, then don't message us.
But don't do a smear campaign either.
And don't lie. Don't just say you had a good time just to make it look like you're better than us. You're not. Be honest. We were so honest with you.
Can you do the wrap up just
Okay. Want me to do the whole YouTube thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'd love to hear what you think of this video and about our interesting experiences in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and, stay tuned for more positive content coming your way soon.